So this weekend I watched one of my most anticipated movies of the year, which was Avengers Age of Ultron, and oh my god. This movie is probably going to be one of my favorite movies of the year, hopefully behind Star Wars. We'll see how that one ends up in the end of the year. So I watched this movie in 3D and I usually don't like it because the action scenes seems a little bit choppy from time to time and a bit stiff. And then when you buy the Blu-ray and take it home, it might not be the same experience because the 3D just took over a little bit. But this movie wasn't really just focusing on the 3D, which is a good mix between 3D and non-3D, I guess. Less 3D, maybe? I don't know. It was a good movie, nevertheless. The movie was fun, it was filled with action and a lot of CGI, which is just expected because we have a green giant and a man in an iron suit. Like, it's going to be some CGI in that movie. James Spader, though, as Ultron, oh my god. He was intimidating, he was scary, and he was so much fun. He was so funny, like I cracked up several times because he doesn't really know humans. It was just so much fun, and James Spader does an amazing job as the voice of Ultron, and he just brings him to life. And speaking of people bringing other people to life, Andy fucking Serkis. Like, oh my god. It has been years since I saw him not play Caesar or Gollum or anything else that he has brought to life during the last few years, and it was so nice seeing his face, and he was so good, and I'm so sad that he wasn't in the movie more than he was because I just wanted him to be in the whole thing, and just I like him. I like Andy Serkis a lot, if you don't realize that. I love him. The movie also focuses a bit more on Hawkeye and Black Widow, which I really like because I don't really know that much about those characters, and now I do. And I also like the relationship between Black Widow and the Hulk, or Bruce Banner, and it was just really fun to see that and just kinda see how they are together, I guess. I don't really know. I don't want to spoil anything, not that it's anything really to spoil, but you know what I'm saying. You kind of saw it a little bit in the trailer. They like had this little connecting time in the trailer, and I really liked that relationship between those two, and it was just a lot of fun digging more into Hawkeye and Black Widow's pasts, which is just awesome. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen played Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and I think they did a good job. The accents didn't bother me because they are playing Russians, so they have these kind of heavy Russian accent, and I thought it was going to bother me more than it did, which was kind of a relief because in the trailer I was like, that's going to bother me like hell, but it didn't, and I was happy about that. And the only thing that I kind of didn't like about it was the fact that they didn't use Quicksilver as much as they probably could, but he did though have a few cool scenes. But because of the fact that the Quicksilver from X-Men Days of Future Past is still in the back of my head, the scenes weren't as cool as they would probably have been if you haven't seen X-Men Days of Future Past. They're both cool, but the Days of Future Past one is cooler. I also liked Paul Bettany. I don't know if you say his name like that, I'm hoping for it. As Jarvis, I've loved him as Jarvis since the first Iron Man movie, and I do think that he does an amazing job as Vision, and I like to see what he does in the future with the character. I also like the fact that they brought a lot of other characters from previous Marvel movies into this, like the Falcon, Heimdall is in it from Thor, and a lot of other people from other Marvel movies, but I really enjoyed that. The gripes that I have about this movie is that it's long. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, so it could have been longer. I think that they said that when they thought that they were done with it, it was like 3 hours, but then they had to, you know, cut a lot of things away, so it wasn't 3 hours long. But it wasn't like I was bored during any of the scenes or anything, but it did feel in like my legs and back and everything. Like 2 hours in a cinema chair is not particularly comfortable, and it's just small, and we're not gonna talk about that. Move on. Samuel L. Jackson is in the movie. He didn't have to be in the movie. He just felt like he was just there because he's Samuel L. Jackson. It's not that I'm complaining about him being in the movie because he's Samuel L. Jackson. But it just felt like he didn't have to be in the movie. Get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? But besides those things, I didn't really have any gripes with the movie. Everybody in it did an amazing job, like always. Like we have seen Chris Evans as Captain America and Chris Hemsworth as Thor and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. We've seen all of that before and they still does an amazing job, and I am really happy to see them all together, and I am so excited for Civil War! I can't even handle it. So excited, and I know I've been rambling in this video and I'm sorry about that. I've been drinking so much coffee because I'm so tired. So I'm sorry if I'm like jumping everywhere and it's not coherent at all. But in conclusion, this movie is awesome. It's one of my favorite movies of the year so far and will probably stay like that for the rest of the year until like Star Wars comes out, hopefully. We have a villain that is intimidating and scary and funny, which is just delightful. That's not probably the right word to use in the same sentence as villain, but you get what I'm saying. I liked Ultron a lot. Everybody in the cast, as I said, did an amazing job. I don't have anybody to like get a nag on. The one thing that bothered me is the fact that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch is siblings in this movie, while the actors Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen played a married couple in Godzilla. That kind of just went through my head a few times, but it wasn't anything that kind of pulled me out of the movie like a lot. But you know, it's different characters and it's a different movie, so it doesn't really matter, but it's just something that went on in my head. I loved this movie. Just go out and see it. If it's in 3D or not, it doesn't matter. Just go out and see it, because in my opinion, this is probably the best Marvel movie to date. In my opinion. So have you seen Avengers Age of Ultron? If you have, leave it in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you not? I would love to know. By the way, I have also created a blog. I will leave a link in the description if you want to go check that out. I write about a little bit of everything and it's not that much on it yet because I've only created it like a week ago. So it's not that much content yet, but it will come, I promise it will come, but I will leave a link in the description if you want to go check that out together with my other links. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be kind to one another and yourself, and I will see you in my next video. May the force be with you. Bye. Igor, are you going to wake up? Igor! Nah, he's fast asleep. I'm sorry. Next time maybe.